What's going on, Husker Corner? Brandon Holmes here, one half of the Blue Bloods College Game Time podcast and YouTube channel, that's dropping fresh college sports content every day and live streaming the show every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Nebraska faithful, it's been a while. I've been on and out on the road, but I have a video just for you guys. Thank you guys for all the support, all the love. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. We appreciate all the support, y'all, on Nebraska faithful. Listen, today's video, I just want to talk about this. Classes have started in Lincoln, right? They've started, so that means the transfer season is quiet till after spring ball. Now, Nebraska went 3-9 this year. We all knew that. We all knew people were clamoring for Frost. What's going to happen? I've said it consistently, even though administration have shown support, I think his leash is a little bit shorter than what's been given out there. And based upon his moves this offseason, I think that verifies that. And so what he did is he attacked the transfer portal hard. And I want to address all the needs that he did and what I think that means for this team moving forward. So let's get to getting on. Listen, one of my favorite gets in this transfer portal season was when Nebraska landed JUCO running back Anthony Grant. Anthony Grant out of New Mexico Military State had 1,730 yards and 18 touchdowns. Now listen, I like this pickup. Originally, they were supposed to get DeAndre Jackson at Texas A&M. I've caught a lot of heat from people saying he's still going to be there. I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be a scholarship allotment. It could open up after spring ball, but I don't think so. But I actually like the Grant pickup a lot big better, and this is why. Jackson wasn't proven at Texas A&M, didn't have a bunch of carries. Grant just came off a big year with 1,700 yards and 18 touchdowns. You want to get a guy in there who has proven that he can produce, a guy that's hungry, and a guy that you know can do what you need him to do. So I really like that big-time get for Frost and company. Another guy that got pulled on early in the transfer portal cycle was Trey Palmer out of LSU. Palmer was originally the 112th overall player in the 2019 class. So he brings some big-time playability. Over his career at LSU, he had 30 catches for 344 yards just last year. The guy's also a special teams guru, a return guy. And as we know, special teams, they hurt Nebraska quite a bit last year, and so Nebraska did what they had to do to go out and get some guys like that can flip the field position from a return aspect. Now, speaking of special teams, if we're going to stay on this lane, I want to address one of the biggest needs they got in the special team games, which was a great punter. They went and got Brian Buscini, the FCS punter of the year out of Montana. Listen, if Brian was an FBS this year, if he was in the FBS this year, he would have ranked in the top 15 of all punting categories. I think this is a big get. This punters, normally, most people overlook them, but they're one of the most important pieces in your special teams unit because the best punters can flip the field position game for you and help out your defense moving forward. So I like that. One of the other big gets Nebraska was all about this year was offensive line. I heard it from fans. Fans said we need more offensive line help, and they did that. Man, the first guy they went and picked up, a local guy who's Omaha North, but they got him to transfer. He's grad transferring from Northern Colorado into the program. That's my man, Kevin Williams. Kevin Williams is looking to plug one of those interior O-line spots, but has dabbled with some tackle. He stands at 6'5", 330, a big, massive body that I think is going to add some value. The other guy that they brought in for the offensive line is my main man, Hunter Anthony out of Oklahoma State. Listen, Hunter Anthony was a big-time get, a starter down at Oklahoma State, ran into some injury issues, and that's happened, and he's looking somewhere to kind of get his career back on track. I believe he has 2 years of eligibility left, and I like what he's going to bring to that Nebraska Cornhuskers O-line room. Now, the big position of it all that everybody loves to talk about, and that's the quarterback position. I mean, I was giving out videos for a while. There's rumblings Rattler can come in. He ended up going to South Carolina. And then I quickly jumped on, I thought about Bo Nix, but then, that didn't work out. But then I quickly jumped on the Casey Thompson and Chubba Purdy train. And I was right about both. And this is why I thought this is one of the best pickups out of the transfer portal. Listen, Casey Thompson is no slouch. The kid threw for 2,100 yards and 24 touchdowns at a 63% completion rate last year at Texas with a thumb injury off the back half of the season. So we saw Whipple what he did this past year with Kenny Pickett. I'm expecting that kind of leap with Thompson. I'm not saying he's going to become one of the first quarterbacks off the board, but I'm expecting a big quantum leap. Thompson comes in with 2 years of eligibility, but I would not be shocked based upon Whipple and Frost mixing him into their game plan that he could be a one-and-done kind of guy. As we know, he also ran for over 3,000 yards in high school. So he brings such the athleticism that Scott Frost loves to have in his quarterback. Now, the big get to me, outside of Casey Thompson, was landing Florida State transfer Chubba Purdy, who comes in with 4 years of eligibility, but was one of the top dual-threat quarterbacks in his class. Now, that is amazing, and I believe these two signings were so great and kind of setting Frost up for the future. Here's why. Casey Thompson with 2 years of eligibility. Let's say he exhausts those two. He becomes a bridge to let Chubba get used to the system, to let Chubba get his feet wet. I'm sure they'll insert some packages to get Chubba on the field over these next 2 years and get him comfortable and learning this new offense and getting him healthy, because he did have a couple injuries down at Florida State. So I'm looking at this quarterback room at least for the next 4 years. Man, it's set up for success. So I love the big two grabs there for Scott Frost and company. Now, another guy that brought in was on this defensive side of the ball, Javier Morton, the defensive back out of Garden City Community College in Kansas, a JUCO transfer. Originally in his high school recruitment, the likes of Alabama were kicking the tires on him. Man, that shows me this. The talent is there. For whatever reason, it didn't work out. It didn't come to fruition that he landed with a big-time SEC school. But SEC talent is there, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the defensive backfield of what he's going to do. And then last but not least, man, you guys had a big-time transfer come in this past year. A big-time, this past weekend, is Omar Brown, defensive back, FCS All-American freshman at Northern Iowa. Big time get for you guys. I mean, the guy's playing some big-time football, and I believe the talent will transfer over really well in the defensive back room, especially being an All-American freshman. It's going to be great, especially in this Big Ten. There's some quality receivers in the Big Ten, and you definitely need help on the defensive back end. Last but not least, Tommy Hill, defensive back out of Arizona State. He was Arizona State's biggest recruiting win in 2021 in that recruiting class. He's coming over. He's about 6 foot, 205 pounds. I mean, he's a big corner. There was a transfer as far as his position coach leaving Arizona State, and he wanted to start somewhere fresh, and Nebraska actually finished number 2 as far as his commitment list, and to get him to land there is going to be super great. So Nebraska has beefed up their offensive line, their defensive backfield, their running back room, and their quarterback room, and I think this is going to pay big dividends for what Scott Frost is trying to do in this upcoming season. As I've always said, if you watch some of my other videos, the Big Ten West is wide open every year. And I believe, man, if Whipple can do what Casey Thompson, what he did with Pickett, or even get that halfway there, you have a better quarterback than you have last year, a more functioning offense than you had last year. And I believe that the key pieces that defense had added in the defensive backfield is going to help with what they're trying to do on defense. I would not be shocked, and I've been saying this all offseason, I would not be shocked if Nebraska is challenging to represent the Big Ten West in the Big Ten Championship next year. It wouldn't shock me whatsoever. They had the pieces in place, and I'm interested to see how this all pans out after spring ball and look to them to add maybe a couple more pieces after spring ball is over. Well, Nebraska fans, let me know what you think about all the transfers and what's going to happen with the team next season in the comments below. Once again, hit that subscribe button. I'm Brandon Holmes, one half of the Blue Bloods College Game Time Podcast. Take care, Husker Nation. Peace.